Hello everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel called Living in Hayward, Wisconsin, where we talk about all things real estate related and also just about living in Hayward. Hi, and welcome to my channel. I'm Audrey Miller. I am your local real estate expert from Hayward, and I'm also the broker owner of Northwest Wisconsin Realty Team. And today we're going to talk about qualities to look for in a buyer's agent. We're going to talk about 5 things you want to look for when you're choosing a buyer's agent to hire to represent you, and kind of delve into the particulars of those 5 things that you want to make sure that your buyer agent has before you start looking at houses with them. So thank you for joining today. So if you haven't seen my prior video about the upcoming changes in real estate, you may want to watch that one as well. That will be the one that's posted at the beginning of August of 2024. And it's just talking about what to expect, how to navigate the upcoming changes in real estate. I'm recording this video at the end of July of 2024, and we have some changes that are going to be put into effect on August 17th of 2024. And so this is kind of a segue from my prior video where I explained the changes and what is going to be different for buyers. And I'm going to today talk about what to look for in a buyer's agent as you're working on hiring them. As always, if you like my channel, feel free to subscribe, like, share. I'd be happy to have you comment. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me directly via email or text and connect with me, and I'd be happy to answer those questions for you as well. Or you can always leave a comment below. So in this new world of real estate, there is going to need to be written agreements with buyers prior to working with a buyer. And one of the definitions by the NAR of working with a buyer is showing properties where you are representing the buyer during that process. You're able to give the buyer advice, opinions, talk about negotiation strategies, and all of that. So as buyers, you're going to be discussing compensation to your agent in a way that you've not had to do in the past, where sellers typically just paid the buyer's agent, and that was pre-negotiated by the listing agent at the time of the listing, and then the buyer's agent was compensated from the seller. Now, before you get too worried about all of this, like I said in my prior video, there is definitely still going to be sellers who are offering buyer agent compensation. There's also going to be the option to write the buyer agent compensation into the offer or possibly roll it into your loan. So there's a lot of things that may help you out that you don't actually have to come out of pocket with a payment to your agent for their services provided. But there is also a chance you may have to, in certain cases, pay your agent, and a very high chance that you're going to be signing an agreement with an agent before going to view properties. So I thought it would help you out with 5 things to look for in a buyer's agent. And as you're doing your research and your due diligence, or maybe speaking with a buyer's agent, just kind of some things to keep in mind. And again, don't be surprised if you receive something that needs your signature before you go look at properties. And at first, I'm sure you're going to be like, what the heck? We never had to do this before. But this is a result of the NAR change, and this is a legal ramification, and agents will need to be doing this moving forward. So if you're planning to hire a buyer's agent to represent you, here are some qualities to look for. First of all, are they local? Do they understand the local market? Do they have local knowledge? That would be number 1. Do they know the lakes in the area? Can they recommend local lenders? Do they know contractors, home inspectors? All of these things you may run into even during the buying process, but then also after that. And there's just a ton of knowledge that a local agent will have, especially if they've been in the area for quite a while, that is just invaluable to you as a buyer, particularly when you are coming from another area and don't have a lot of familiarity with the area already. These are just some examples of local knowledge. There are many more that I could list, but that's kind of a broad overview of some of the local knowledge pieces of information that might be helpful to you as you're even wanting to know, like, what area should I look within? What lakes should I look on? What are the price points on lakes versus the size of the lakes? All of those types of things. Number 2, does your agent have a passion for the real estate business? Are they into it? Are they invested in your process? Do they care whether you end up with the property that you're looking for or not? Do they have a desire to help you that comes from a place of passion regarding real estate? Are they going to work hard to find the right property for you? I guess another way to say it is your agent driven? Do they have the work ethic and the desire to help you obtain the property that you're looking for? And the things that are important to you, are they important to your agent? Number 3, great communication. And with that, I will say great listening skills. So how timely is your agent with the responses to you? Do they answer all of your questions, or do they only answer part of your questions when you ask them? Are they detail oriented? Does your agent notice the little things, whether in communication or listening? And do they hear what you have to say, what's important to you, and are they working to make that happen for you? And I guess also, do they have people skills? Do you feel comfortable with the agent? Are they a good fit for you personality wise? Are they good with people? Or do you feel uncomfortable, or like you can't ask questions, or like you're bothering them? You should feel, when you hire a buyer's agent, you should feel like they are in your corner and they are doing their best to help you, and they communicate very well with you. When you have questions, if you need to go see a property on short notice, there should be good communication about all of that, that you're not left wondering what's going on. All right, number 4, and these are not necessarily in order of importance, they're just in the order that I thought of them and wrote them down. So number 4 is probably the most important in my opinion, and that is experience. I cannot emphasize this enough. Is your agent that you are choosing to represent you experienced? Do they understand different types of loans and what you need to know about a property in relation to that? Do they understand rural wells and septics? Can they point out material adverse facts as you're going through a property and say, hey, you might want to check into this, or yes, I would recommend that you get an inspection because I see X, Y, or Z. The knowledge that we as agents have when we've gotten quite a bit of experience is very diverse and broad. You know, it's just like in any other field. When you do this every day, you just learn a ton. And I like to say I'm still learning something new every day, and that's good. You know, I always want to be learning, but I also have much experience at this point. Do they have prior client reviews that they can share with you, where you can see the feedback from other buyers who have worked with them? I think that's another important thing. That'll show you that they've been in the business for a while, and also that they have other satisfied clients that they've worked with. And number 5, negotiation skills. Does your agent know how to write the best offer on your behalf? Do they understand how to use an escalation clause? Do they know that you can potentially write a cash offer even if you're planning to get a loan, as long as you're confident that you can get the loan and you have the proof of funds available? Those are just some examples. Do they check with the other agent, you know, the listing agent, say, hey, are there any other offers on the table? Do they make sure they've got all the information gathered before they go ahead and present your offer or talk about offer strategy with you? Does your agent understand the changes in real estate practice that are happening and how to navigate those? How to still help you write the strongest offer to get the property that you want when we're still in a seller's market? Do they understand the contract enough to know when they have the legal backing to stand firm on your behalf? And this is more when you're getting down the road in your negotiations and you're maybe in the home inspection phase or the appraisal or financing contingency phase, and you run up against a hiccup. Does your agent have the knowledge to know how to negotiate, and do they understand where they can draw a line and kind of stand firm on your behalf in those negotiations? These are just some examples of negotiating. It's a very wide or broad subject, but these 5 things to me are what to look for in a buyer's agent. Now, can you go it alone as a buyer? Can you be unrepresented? Yes, you can. But that may end up costing you a lot more in the long run than the willingness to pay a buyer's agent in the event that the seller is not compensating them. You can also choose to work with someone who is in pre-agency with you. So that means they are not representing you, but they may give you a written agreement that puts you in pre-agency. Again, this is a way that you could show properties without potentially committing to that agent, but that agent cannot advise you on the property price, on how to negotiate if you're interested in writing an offer. They can only provide you with material adverse facts because they are technically at that point still working for the seller. So what is it worth to you to be represented by an agent who exhibits these qualities that I'm talking about? You know, I hear often, you know, real estate agents are overpaid. Real estate agents make too much money. I've heard it many times. I think that's usually spoken by people who aren't real estate agents. It's one of those things that people have no idea everything that goes into the behind the scenes, all the time and effort we put in that we're never compensated for. They're just looking at, wow, this agent sold me this house and they made X amount of money. You know, I did some research in the state of Wisconsin, according to salary.com. The average real estate agent makes just under $46,000 a year. But guess what the average employee in Wisconsin makes? It is $58,500. So I'm curious, you know, when people say that, how they would feel if someone came into their job where they're putting forth their best effort, they're working hard, and said, you're making too much money. You know, I think it's easy to point the finger at certain sectors or certain professions where you maybe don't understand what all goes into it and say, oh, that person is making too much money. When there is an excellent service being provided, I think it's worth it. And if you have an agent who meets this criteria and who can help you through this process, negotiate on your behalf, provide you with information, whether local area information, contractual information, strategy for negotiation, can bring their experience to the table, it's my opinion that that is invaluable when you are making one of the biggest purchases of your life, whether a second home or a primary home. And that's some of the things that I think it would be good for you to look for when you are hiring a buyer's agent to represent you. Again, thanks for joining today. I am Audrey Miller with Northwest Wisconsin Realty Team. I'm your local Hayward real estate expert, and I'd be happy to hear from you at any time. If you're looking to buy or sell, get in touch with me, and I'll be happy to bring my experience to the table and work for you.